It's been asked many, many times, would I ever make a rat type clone? I've always said, I'm not real sure. Just depends on what people want. Well, it looks like people are very interested on our take on that rat type circuit. I love that type of circuit. In fact, I've created a pedal that incorporates that type of circuit. We'll look at that in just a second. Over the years, I even went to modifying some metal zones into being a rat with a flexible EQ, just basically turn the metal zone into a rat type of pedal, and had a lot of fun doing it. But it still wasn't really a Wampler thing, so I wanted to put my own little spin on it. So we have here the Ratsbane. Let's talk about this a little bit. We have the traditional filter, which is like the tone control, volume control, and of course the gain, distortion, fuzz, whatever you want to call it, the gain control, I like to call it. We also have a switch here on the side that says gain. So basically what we have with this switch is when it's in the middle, that is the stock amount of vintage rat type of gain. I'll explain that more in a minute. Then we have a little bit more gain when it's to the left, mostly mids and highs, basically not so much bottom end. Then when we go all the way to the right, that's full frequency gain boost. And then the voice switch here on the left, or the voice switch on the right, whenever it's to the left, that would be the traditional rat style circuitry. So it's, hard clipping. It's going to do all the stuff that like a traditional rat pedal is going to do, meaning it's going to be clean when it's way down. So it's a really cool boost into a dirty amp. And then once you get about halfway, it starts going into a fuzz and turning into a really cool fuzz. But whenever you turn the switch, the voice switch to the right, it turns into a completely different circuit, a much more modern distortion type of circuit. So let's play through it just a bit, and playing through the Bravado amp on the clean channel. It's super clean. So here's what it sounds like. Now with the gain down low, it gets it's a little bit mid-humpy, just a little bit, but it's a cool boost. As you turn the gain up, gets gainier, of course. About halfway. And then, of course, as we turn the gain way up, it's going to get even fuzzier. Now let's take a look at the gain switch here on the side. I'm going to keep the gain at about half so you can kind of hear what's going on with it. Here is the basic sound. We're in the stock rat type of mode. So the voicing circuit. This voicing circuit is a quite different mod than I've seen anyone else do. I don't really think I've seen it anywhere else, but not that I invented it. It's just something different to the circuit that I did. Changing the EQ, changing the clipping structure, making it really more like a modern distortion, like I said. So I'll start out with it in the stock rat mode, then I'll flip it over, you'll see what I mean. Let's see what it does into a dirty amp. I'll turn this amp up quite a bit. It's going to distort like a clean amp is going to distort. So a little bit more along the Fenderish type of line. And we're going to use this as just a boost going into it. Okay, so you can see how I have it set up right now. I have the voice switch to the left. I'm going to go ahead and put the gain back in the middle. We don't need a gigantic amount of gain for something like this. So here we go. Here's just the distorted amp. Another fun tone that I like to use this pedal for. Now, it wasn't really designed this way. I just noticed that it sounds sort of like this. It's sort of a Foo Fighters sort of thing. Another little note about the Ratsbane, you'll notice the filter control works just like the Rat, meaning as you turn it counterclockwise, it's brighter. As you turn it clockwise, it's less bright. I know that's a little bit different than most pedals in general. Generally, it's the other way around. That's the way Proco did it, so that's the way I wanted to keep on doing it. Another thing about this particular pedal, it does take 18 volts. You can run 18 volts through it if you want to. I generally prefer 9. I kind of designed it around 9, but it does work with 18 if you like a little more headroom, little less clipping just because of the way the circuit works, but it does give you more headroom, a little more dynamics. Also, for those who like to tweak things, if you open this pedal up, you kind of take the guts out. I mean, you got to take the knobs and such out. You'll notice there's a socket that you can put any type of single op amp in there. So if you want to experiment with op amps, go for broke, you can do that. It's already set up for an LM308, so you could do that if you want. But it's a little fun for those who like to tweak things. So let's take a little bit of, let's dive into a little bit of the nerdier aspects of it, maybe run some frequency responses, look at some schematics and stuff like that. Let's do it. All right, so let's look at the schematic. Why? Because I like schematics and it seems like some of you all like schematics, so thought it'd be a good thing to do. So I've already done a video that really dove in depth about the rat, but I thought, let's revisit some of that and talk a little bit about it. Maybe throw the pedal on the frequency analyzer and see what it does. So here is like the basic schematic of what's going on here. Not of that exact pedal, but of like the rat type stuff. You'll notice this is a fixed resistor in this particular location. It's actually a gain pot, so it's actually variable. I have it set so like full gain all the way up. So in this particular, with the Ratsbane, you see this area here, I'm changing that to a bunch of different stuff. So it does different stuff and gets more gains and different gains. So just in case you DIYers were wanting to know what's going on, I'm changing that stuff. And no, it's not the Reutz mods or something like that. It's not that. All right, so that's what's going on. We have the filter control here. Diodes are clipping to ground in the stock circuit. This is all part of the tone control right there. And then we go to a little JFET buffer, and then we go out. If we do a simulated response of what it's going to look like, this is sweeping the gain pot, sweeping the filter pot, which means all the way down in 10% increments until it's all the way up. This is kind of what you have mathematically anyways. What happens in the real world isn't always exactly the same, but that's mathematically what's going on. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's run some pink noise, which is pretty flat. So it's a flat noise generator. And let's turn some controls and see what's going on. So let's take a look at the Ratsbane. We're going to run pink noise through the pedal. Pink noise is fairly flat frequencies, like I said. And let's turn some knobs and see what happens. Now, this is not going to show everything possible. It's not going to show like compression or anything like that. It's not going to show clipping or it's just frequency stuff. For example, as we turn the gain knob up and down, it's not going to change that much until we get to the lower side of the gain knob. So let's look at that first. So with the gain all the way, well, not all the way down, but just edged up just a little bit, you notice there's a little hump there. It's kind of a wide hump, but it's, around 800 to 4K or somewhere in that area. So basically it's cutting a lot of the bottom end off there with the gain knob down low. By the way, I say gain knob, it's labeled distortion. I hope you know that it's like literally the same thing as just different words on the pedal. I call that type of spot in the circuit the gain because it's increasing gain. But it's labeled distortion, so it's not confusing to people. As we turn the actual gain or distortion knob up, you can see that we get more bass, of course. Now, again, it's not going to show the clipping. Clipping is the sound of distortion. So it's not going to show that part of it. Let's roll the tone control back, which is giving it more highs on this type of circuit. Not giving it, but not taking off, because this type of control takes off highs. So as we turn it up on the filter control, we can see that it really drops that treble side into the mids, even into the portion of the mids. That's just what this style tone control or filter control does. Let's turn that back up to where I would use it, which is, right around, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so. To kind of show you what's going on with the voice switch, you'll notice that difference in EQ there. So this difference is part of the function of the voice control. It's not only affecting clipping, it's affecting EQ, it's affecting compression, it's affecting a lot of different things there, just to kind of turn it into something different, something, outside of the normal realm of the rat type of circuitry. The gain switch is really not going to show that much on this frequency analyzer because it's not changing frequencies dramatically. You can see the bottom end and the mids and stuff are up a little bit, but it's not as much of a difference as you hear. So the frequency analyzer doesn't show everything. It just helps to kind of get a general overview of what's going on with the EQ. So that's the Ratsbane. I hope you like it. Make sure to check it out. It's available on the 26th, I believe, this Friday as I record this. It'll be available to everyone, almost everywhere. And so check it out. Make sure you let me know if you did get it and what you think of it. I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching.